Okay, welcome back everyone to the channel. We have Yasi today with us. She runs an NFT agency, and in this video we'll talk to her about what are the type of NFT projects she's seeing, and if you are probably starting to start a NFT project, what are the things that you should be taking note of. So this is going to be a very important one. Yasi, thank you so much for doing it. How are you?
Yeah, thanks for having me. Very glad to be here and share my experiences with you guys from our work at the Promo and Scale Web3 marketing agency. Yeah.
Perfect. So I guess let's start with a bit of intro. Like, could you give us your background? What were you into before crypto and Web3, and then what got you into? When did you come to know about the whole wild west of crypto and Web3, and what got you interested into this and when?
Yeah, sure. So I worked in FMCG industry for more than 10 years. So if you don't know what FMCG means, it actually stands for fast moving consumer goods. So companies like Unilever and Heineken. So I worked in different markets, like global, regional, and local markets, all the time in the departments around marketing, trade marketing in Singapore, Amsterdam, Sweden, Congo, Africa, and then back to Singapore. So I have always been working in the marketing area with international brands. Over the years, I have personal experience that there are so many new innovations because while I was working in Singapore, constantly we have a lot of startups coming to our office and pitch their new ideas, use a Wi-Fi router to map people's movement at the event so we know what works, what doesn't work at the different attractions, or use like a hologram. I did a hologram display for Heineken in the supermarket. So I was very fascinated with different technologies and new ideas. And then over the years, I started to find out that, I'm actually very interested in technologies and startup. So I like this culture because actually with limited budget and limited resources, you need to make things happen. And in international brands, I have a big budget. So with big budget, you can do a lot of stuff and things get easier, okay? So when I moved from Singapore to Switzerland, that's the moment I thought, okay, maybe it's time for me to try entering tech startup industry. So, and during the same year, that was 2017, my husband introduced me about Bitcoin. So 2017, we started investing Bitcoin, but at that time it was still quite new, and it was still very volatile. But I started to learn more about this technology, so blockchain. And what's funny enough is that I don't know if any of your audience know that in Switzerland, Zug, this small city, Zug, is called Crypto Valley. And there are
Yeah,
hundreds of blockchain companies there. So I thought, I am in a German-speaking region. At that time, I don't speak German. At that time, I only speak English, Chinese, and a little bit French. And I'm in a German-speaking region, and I'm a marketing person. How am I going to have my place, right? Then I thought, okay, Crypto Valley. So I need to go to Crypto Valley because it's tech startup. The market is international, so English is the main language there. So that is how I started my career in blockchain industry as a head of marketing for a blockchain infrastructure company in 2018. So I started with knowing Bitcoin and knowing blockchain and then getting into the industry. And up till now, 2022, I started the Web3 marketing agency with my business partner because while we were working the industry with a lot of startups, we have seen how startups run marketing. People hire their friends and families, or people hire, like say, random freelancers who are not even professionals, and do marketing for them, and they waste time and money, and in the end they don't get results. So that's where we want to help. Like, we want to bring the professional marketing standard into the industry, help tech startups, and bring their products or solutions to the market. So I hope I answered your question. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's quite interesting because when you were in Switzerland, you had no idea about Crypto Valley, and then you suddenly realized that, probably I am in a country which has a Crypto Valley, so probably this is such a good coincidence, yeah. And
Yeah.
so you started with your partner. What does your partner had an experience in crypto, or like how does that partnership happen?
Yes, actually, she started working in Crypto Valley because she was working at actually the Crypto Valley ecosystem, the incubation program, the venture capital. She was coming
Okay.
from banking background, so she entered this space also during that time. So we kind of know each other, but we don't know each other directly because this circle is big, but it's not that big. So indirectly, we know who is who. And then just because she was starting a podcast at that time, I had a podcast called Fast Track, and we had the same guest. And this guest told her about I'm also having a podcast. So we just met up and talked about it. And over time, this idea just flowed, and then we started this company. Yeah.
Yeah, this is a very small space right now, and hence there are also a lot of opportunities and really to coordinate, collaborate. That's what I like about the space right now, that you can collaborate and you can just grow the space together in the right way. There's no competition as such right now. Uh, I would love to know, just like before we get into the agency side of it, NFTs, which is very fascinating on its own. I see so many NFT agency, by the way, coming up. But before we jump into that, there was a quote that I heard which says that every founder, like NFT founder, and every creator, okay, like an artist, is also a collector. I would love to know, are you a collector and what are the NFTs type do you like to hold yourself?
Yeah, I have few NFTs, but I'm not an NFT trader. So funny enough, I need to tell you something else about me so you see the bigger picture.
Sure.
So I'm also a money coach. So I have another business with another business partner who is a wealth manager. We have a course to teach people how to manage their money. Less from the technical side, but more from the mental, like the mentality and attitudes, how you need to deal with money.
Right.
Okay, so one of the key principle is there are a few key principle is don't invest in something you don't know, don't invest your breath money, have core and satellite strategy. So which means core is something is going to grow over time with less risk that is going to preserve your wealth. Satellite strategy is having some money at the side that you want to invest in something more volatile, something more risky, something maybe bring you more return, but you can also lose everything. Okay, so my way of investing in the space is the same as how we teach the students. I have my core and I have my satellite. So I have few NFTs, but I'm very picky because I'm not a person who is gambling on stuff. I'm not a person who want to speculate on stuff. I don't trade, I invest. So, that's the difference. I don't see market every day. Okay, I buy, I sell, I buy, sell. I don't have that time. There are people who are traders. I'm an investor. I invest. I see the underlying value. I see the long term. I put my money there. I sleep. I don't care about it and let it grow over time. It's like how I deal with Bitcoin and Ethereum. I didn't buy, sell for in the last few years. I didn't do anything. I just leave it.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great strategy, especially like why would you trade Bitcoin if you can just buy and hold it and for years and it gives you 10x
Yeah,
return?
which I did, which I did in 2018. And then at the end of the day, I was trading Bitcoin and altcoin. But at the end of the day, I realized that if I don't do nothing, I would have made more money. So that's the moment I stopped trading. Yeah.
Yeah. Because with the trading comes the risk. I mean, it's all about timing the market, and if you're not good at it, like you'll lose whatever you have. So, what are the good NFTs that you hold for long term? Like a few that you can share.
So right now, there's one that I really like. It's a new project, and we also invited the founder to our Promote and Scale Twitter Spaces every Monday. So he was the guest. It's called Privé. Privé. I like this project because number one, if you go to their website, if you know nothing about the project, if you go to their website, the website is very well made. All the informations are clear. It looks like a product from a company. It looks very professional. And then you go to the team. The co-founders, they have 17 years experience as a senior executive at Microsoft. And the business partners, they also have family champagne houses in France, in the Champagne region. So their product is producing NFT champagne, like everybody can have ownership part of it, right? And then you create a community where entrepreneurs, investors, people who are like-minded come together and also enjoy good things in life, like those champagnes or gatherings later. And this project I like it because the way how the founder designed the project, to me, it's very, very solid. They spend months thinking about it, strategizing about it, and launching it. And it's a long-term, they have a long-term vision. And then they're going to have a technology behind it, and then to revolutionize the champagne industry. So there's an actual use case and actual utility. And then the NFT value might reflect the underlying utility, right? So this is kind of project I personally like because it's at a level that I think that they do it right. Yeah.
I like that because it's fascinating how you can NFTize the current business models, like current brands, how they can use NFT as a technology to build and further their brands, like interact with community, interact with consumers, and offer various things which wasn't possible probably earlier, but with NFTs you can do that. Let's jump onto the NFT agency side of it. So how do like, if somebody has to launch NFT projects, how do they approach you? And first this, and then I also want to know later on that, like, these NFT projects that are like coming to you, are they like already a reputed brands, that that you mentioned which is already into champagne? Or so do you actually look at these things that, okay, you want to launch an NFT, you want to market an NFT, but are you a brand already, or are you trying to establish a new brand? But
Yeah.
let's start from, like, how does one approach you for, if somebody has an NFT project, how do they approach you? Like, what are
So
the things
right
you should?
now,
Yeah.
yeah. So right now we have probably for sure more than 300 calls with 300 different NFT projects in the last 5 months, for sure, minimum 300. So from those projects, I would say during the hype, when there was still hype, during the hype, there are a lot of projects, they are not ready. So they come to us, they ask, oh, how to market it, how to promote it. But if we ask the key questions, show us your art, is your website ready? Do you have white paper? What are utilities? What's the experience of the founders team? Why you are doing this? Like the why, why you are doing this. So many projects, they cannot give the answer that is make us feel that they are ready to go to market. So what we do is that we advise them what they need to work on, and then they go back home and if they are really interested in building a project, right, they will continue working on it, improve it, and then when it's ready, they can spend money, go to market, or they can come to us and we have consultation service. We can help them consolidate the projects, go through everything. I would say most of the project they're at that level, but then when the hype is gone, nowadays what we have seen that the project that talk to us, they are more mature. Like people are experienced, people are seasonal entrepreneurs, people already launched the collection in the past. Now they are launching a second collection with slightly different twist. So my advice would be, if you want to launch an NFT collection, treat it like a business. If you're going to launch your product, think from the other person's point of view. Why should I buy? Why should I spend money on your product? Why should I spend time and energy on join your community? And then work it backwards. So to me, fundamentally, it's really about building a business, building a product, have your target audience in mind, having your why, having your unique selling point, and then develop your whole business model, make a plan, have a strategy, study your market, study your competitors, and execute it in a professional way. So this is what I would advise everybody to do. Unless if you are independent artist, there's no need for real business model utilities, but you have a big following, right? You build up your personal brand, you build up your fame in the space, you have a following, you can launch something and then people want to buy. But that's also a different type of business model, NFT collection. So that's my advice. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that a lot of people who are like entering into NFT space, they really have no ideology behind, like they don't understand the fundamentals of NFTs, as if they look at NFTs as a product.
Yeah, which is fine, you know, because I see it like this market is this small, but the potential of the market is this big. This is the actual. So
Yeah.
there will be a lot of people entering this space. It's normal.
Yeah.
But I think there's a saying I really like in investing. It's called either you win or you learn. Okay.
Yeah.
So you spend time, energy, money on creating your own collection. It might be a failure, but you learn. Or you spend time, energy, and money in learning. For example, we will launch an accelerator program, like an educational program. You learn and then you do. So either way, it's okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I would love to take your thoughts on this. So the way I look at an NFT is that, let's say you launch an NFT today, that's like it lives on the blockchain and it is there forever. So let's say you sold about 5,000 NFT or 1,000, whatever. Like all the hodlers, they know you. They will remember you. Of course, in case you're doxed, right? So you are, what you're saying is, okay, now I'm going to live on blockchain forever in a way, right? The good thing about that is that maybe you may not do anything for next 6 months or 1 year, and after 2 years you come back suddenly and do something, some business, and add value to the hodlers. So all the NFT hodlers get the benefit because you started giving the value out, and that is distributed through the NFTs, right? So that's one way of doing it. The problem here is when a lot of these people, they think that it's just another token, just sell it to somebody and then you forget it. And the problem with that is you can do that if you're not doxed. I think that is why a lot of teams are not doxed. And like most of these guys' intention is, okay, I'm just here to sell a token to you. Here is my token for 0.1 or 0.28, just buy it, let's forget. They are not going to provide any utility to you. They don't have a long-term vision, right? But most people who are like dogs, like Gary Vee and others, like you have no problem. You know that this guy is genuine. As long as he lives on this planet Earth, he will try to add value back to the NFT holders. Do you see that similar way? What's your point on this?
Yeah, which is, I think, when the hype is gone, which is good for the market.
Yeah.
You know, even though the trading volume dropped by 99% on OpenSea, it's okay. I think this market is going through a transition from hyping to people need to build real business using NFT. People need to put themselves out there and be credible, not be scammers or rug pull projects. So I personally think it's a normal transition and it's good for the industry and the quality project, the experienced entrepreneurs, they will make a success out of it because this is the right market condition for the people who are doing the right things.
So how many projects have you helped with in terms of marketing? Would you be able to share some of the names or something like that?
Yeah, we are working with, I think, between 5 to 7 projects at any given of time because we are a very small team and we don't want to, you know, take too many projects and each clients don't get enough time. So we limit the number of projects we work on, and then we prefer to work on with quality projects because when you work with quality projects, usually the founders, they are also business people. They think in a way that they're more experienced. So when we work with them, we can create better results rather than, you know, you have to kind of like a coach the founder about basic business knowledge. So like one of the projects right now we're working on, I think is very interesting, very innovative, is a Swiss tech startup. They are like a e-commerce platform, but the e-commerce platform is to utilize the NFTs people already have. So in the virtual world, you can have your JPEG there. Okay, it's nice, it's nice. But what can you do with it, right? Also, people like to show it, people like to wear it. So they have very high quality merchandise. Then you can pair the NFT and pair it with the merchandise and print it and then ship it to you, like print on demand. Okay. But what's interesting is if you have the NFT you can print your own one and make your own merchandise. But if
Ah,
you but if you have a lot of NFT collection, you can put it on the marketplace or create your own e-shop. And when other people see you have a cool NFT and they create merchandise, you create passive income. So it's like an e-commerce platform. And for people, you can open your own online shops and give your NFT a second life, right? You can have it in your wallet forever. What are you going to do with it?
yeah.
Yeah, then you can put it online and people can use it, or NFT projects and brands, they can use it to like make us a gift for their communities or make us a marketing way, a way to market in real life. So I think this is very interesting because you cannot fake it. You have to pick from the wallet and then you match it with the print. So I think the IP rights will also be traced and protected. Yeah.
Yeah, this is where the CCO rights comes into picture, right? That where you have the, what is that called, CCO rights, where if I own an NFT, I can use it commercially. Is that right?
Yes, correct. So with this project, they are encouraging NFT like collection creators to give the commercial rights to NFT holders, which I think it totally makes sense because it's things you own on blockchain is about ownership, right? Like why you buy an NFT, you cannot use it commercially. Like to me, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, that's really cool. I like those kind of NFT project which give you this right to use it commercially, because then it creates so many opportunities for the holder to create a passive income for himself, and just use his own brain how he can monetize it, commercialize
Yes.
it. And so I wanted to know, like, where does your role come into picture? Does it come pre-minting, or some of these projects they approach you like after the project has minted, or like if, and is it before the project is about to be minted?
I would usually recommend if a project wants to go to market, usually pre-mint, right? They need to build a brand, they need to build a community. I would advise the projects to start with us from day one. So we can define the marketing strategy together, we can define the content strategy together and understand their positioning. Because again, as I mentioned, most of the time when the project come to us, they don't have a clear like what is the brand, what is the brand character, what is your voice, what is your positioning. They didn't really have that. So we need to define that. And then when you tweet, when you promote, when you write articles, things will follow on how you define what your brand or community represents. So
Yeah.
I would suggest to any project that start from the beginning working with the marketing agency to define that. Then in the execution phase, the things will be consistent. Yeah.
Yeah, basically it will probably give you a theme on how do you want to go ahead, like in designing the roadmap, like what's your theme, like uh, what's your statements, like what do you want to be projected as in the market, how should people see you, you know
Besides
uh,
that, besides that, one of the biggest thing that from our experience, most project ignored is to identify their primary target audience. Because it's very easy for NFT project to say, oh, my target audience is NFT traders, NFT collectors. But it's not good enough because
yeah,
even collectors, there are collectors who like your project, there are collectors who don't care about your project, right? So you have to be very specific what type of NFT collectors, what is their interest, where they're based, or what is their, I don't know, personal type. It depends. So then when you market them, you can find the right influencers to work with, we can find the right targeted community to do collabs. You can find probably some ambassadors for your, if you have ambassador program. So in the marketing execution phase, everything follows by the initial definition of all these elements I mentioned before. Yeah.
yeah. And what about the tech side? So let's say if there is a brand who wants to launch a good brand probably, and wants to understand how it can NFTs can help him, further growth. And so what about the tech side? You mentioned the marketing side, but in case he also wants to help in choosing which blockchains to use, what should be written in the smart contract, do you have a separate team to do that? How do you go about that?
Oh yes, we have few business partners on the tech side, on the, for example, software development, even gas list transaction. So this is very unique because nowadays, one of the major issue would be gas fees, right? Although now when you meet Ethereum blockchain, it might cost between $2 to $5.
Yeah.
It's cheaper than before. But still, if you have 10,000 or 100,000 transactions on your platform, it's going to be a lot of money there that's spent on gas fees. But if you can offer gasless transaction, that's going to be a huge advantage. But there is already technology out there to allow you provide to your users gasless transaction, regardless of which blockchain, as long as they're all using Ethereum virtual machine. So this is our another technology partner in Switzerland that can provide that. And besides, then we have software development companies that also are partners. So yeah, so I would say if a project come to us, we can literally refer them to different service providers. Also, we referred blockchain lawyers in Switzerland, blockchain lawyers in the US before, because many times people want to create a token and
Yeah.
then to reward the token holders, like a profit sharing. And immediately I was like, oh, it's a security token. Have you talked to a blockchain lawyer? I was like, oh, is there a lawyer called a blockchain lawyer? I was like, yes.
Yeah, initially, like, yeah, I mean that's the thing that right now there's these, since it's a new technology, it's a new innovation, there are so many complications as well, and that's why I guess experts are needed to really guide somebody to navigate that path from Web 2 to Web 3, so that there are nothing is complicated, the type of projects that be coming to you will keep changing from time to time as the space evolve. During the hype, you have like random people coming to you having no idea why they want to launch an NFT. But today I'm sure you have a lot of brands approaching to you. So I like, what kind of, do you have more existing brands who wants to launch the NFT projects, or what type of people do you think, or projects do you think, who are approaching you today? Is it sort of an artist brands, or what it is like? And
Right now,
and also, what would you prefer to work with? Would you prefer to work with?
yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, right now, still the new projects are approaching us. The main reason for that is because my business partner Ivana, she made a lot of marketing analysis video on YouTube. So through that, a lot of audience who are, still in the learning phase, discovering phase, they discovered us and they book a call with us. So I would say most of the projects are still new projects.
Uh-huh.
But however, we would like to work with existing brands soon because I come from FMCG industry where companies spend a lot of budget on marketing and on their brand building, and I have quite a lot of experience with trade marketing, which is around promotions, using different ways to launch a product. So I think next phase we would like to approach in a way to attract and approach more of existing brand and help them enter the Web3 space because they can do their supermarket display, they can have a 20% discount, they can run their Facebook ads, right? But wouldn't it be cool if you use kind of NFT or do something in metaverse that is going to excite the younger consumers that might be perfectly your target audience. So this is something we will be looking at. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same with me. I believe that all the Web2 brands which already exist, I think there is a huge utility for them in with the NFT technology. All that is needed is someone to really show them how they can use these NFTs and help them transition from the Web2 or whatever, maybe even a physical traditional business model that they can also have an NFT, right, with the barcode, like everyone who enters scans the barcode. I guess one of my goal also is here that I have been interested in, because I've been into crypto for like 4 5 years, and altcoins trading and this and that. But what's fascinating is this technology, which all of a sudden creates a new way of interacting with your customer, and sort of you know revamping, not really revamping the entire business model, but adding something very powerful, adding a very powerful tool to the existing businesses. So that's what when I'm looking at that, how in India we can have more brands onboarded on on the NFT space. That's going to be very cool. I think pretty much we covered a lot of things here. Anything else you want to share, and where can people find you? Yes, yes.
Sure. I think if any of your audience who is interested in NFT or having their own NFT projects, they can always check out our YouTube videos online. So you search promote and scale, you will see a lot of videos, very informational, educational, that we provide like maybe once a week or once every other week. And on top of that, we have a Discord server where there are Web3 marketers, NFT projects owners, or software developers, like people, different players in the industry, and we exchange information. And sometimes we, as a company, we have resources, then we are going to share it with everybody there. So I think it's a great place for anyone who wants to get started, join there. And then maybe I will send the invite link to you so you can put it in the description. And then the third place would be, we have weekly Twitter spaces on Monday at 5 p.m. Central European time. So maybe Indian Standard Time would be 8:30, somewhere there. So every single Monday on Twitter, so Promote and Scale Twitter account, we have invited interesting guests, and we have quite a lot of interesting guests in the pipeline. Like, for example, NFT traders or NFT funds. Now we are talking with a company who is going to have a fund to be listed on stock exchange, and traditional investors can buy this fund, can buy the shares, and have exposure in NFTs. They have Bored Apes, they have all this stuff in the portfolio. So I think that's also a very interesting place for people to learn more about NFTs, about marketing, about the whole industry, and what's upcoming, what's the trend, and get connected with people who, you might meet your next business partner, you might meet your next employer, you might find a gig there. So I think it's a great place to be.
Yeah, I think I was part of one of the Twitter spaces that you had. So this is a very good conversation that goes on there. So yeah, absolutely. I mean, one of the way to really be informed with NFT space is just really be connected with all the founders and really what they are sharing, how they are thinking about entire thing. That's the only way, because mainstream media is not telling you what's an NFT, because they have no clue what's an NFT. So I would say internet is now mainstream media, and the internet is secondary. The TV is a secondary media, even though we haven't started calling them that way. But I think that's what the truth is. Yes, thank you so much for. I'm going to share. I'm going to put all the links in the description for anyone. Please share. Please. Go ahead, subscribe to the channel, especially if you want to learn about NFTs. And yeah, so thank you so much, Yasi.
Yeah, welcome. Glad to be here.